live from downtown State College.
Welcome into the Lane and Tangwell live pregame call-in show. We are downtown a beautiful State College at Studio Center, located, I don't even know, where are we? Where are we, Producer John?
Don't tell them.
Under Urban Outfitters, 234 East College.
Come visit us. Looking to make any content. Come on out.
We need a new football content creator.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Ours
honestly.
is like okay.
I don't think ours is going too well. He's not doing well, and he's not feeling happy at this point. Penn State, actually, it's a beautiful fall day. Let me say that. I went to go pick up all of John's beers so I can fight him later. Yep. And at Sheets, where I had to make 3 different trips because I was getting Miss Sarah Jane. Might as well throw the introduction here. How are you doing today?
Meh.
Yeah, there we go. I had to get her some high noon, so I had to make 3 different trips because I got 2 cases of beer and tequila ones. 3 different trips because in PA, if you're in any type of grocery store or Sheets, you have to make multiple trips. They want to limit alcoholism, I guess. Good for them. Joe, what's up? What is up, my man? Looking for some bear meat today. Yeah. Chris says hello to you, Sarah.
Oh, hi, Chris.
There we go. We got Wisconsin in the background a little bit. Came out and punched Michigan in the throat. Beautiful fall day. Penn State versus UCLA, 3:30 p.m. at the Rose Bowl. Last time we were out there, it was a pretty good one for the boys and the girls.
Yeah, that Utah guy broke his leg in half, and we ended up winning the day.
Poor Cam Rising never came back from that one, really. He kind of technically did, but never really recovered. He was a really good quarterback. Frack is already coming in hot. Kodo Nicky's Blizzard is a turd milkshake. Oh, my God. And the chat is back. Gosh, I love you guys so much. Today's show is brought to you by Antifragile Brewing Company, the Keg Cam. Sarah, we did not take the JP 409 shot last week because Penn State failed to win the game. Hopefully, we better be taking a shot at the end of today, even though it's going to scare me. But we are hoping to be taking a shot out of there. And thank you to Antifragile for sponsoring. Go check out their cheesesteaks, breakfast cheesesteaks, all of the above. And of course, I'm sipping on some of their beer today.
We all are.
Oh yeah, we all got it. We're chugging along. We're going to need a lot of it today, especially for hopefully what is a fast start on offense. That is what we are all hoping for. Nick, what is up, my man? Appreciate you tuning in. He also says 49-0. I would really like that. I would love that. We have the number up. If you want to call in, 814-400-4188. Some of you, I think, have the number saved at this point because we've gotten calls.
Should.
Yeah, we've gotten calls before the numbers went up.
Middle of the night.
It should be it should be on your favorites.
You don't know this, but I have football talks with your fans all night at 2 a.m. to 4 a.m.
You just throw out you just get calls and you're just like, here, here's what's going on. Someone said, do we cover? I hope.
What is the spread?
Only 20, I think we have 24 and a half.
Oh, I didn't.
Only 24. UCLA is the worst team in Power 4.
That's because we might put up 10 points before the half.
Yeah, I put out a tweet and I said, look, I think the halftime score is actually more important to most of the fans than the final score. We have not covered yet. We are 0-4 against the spread at the moment.
We might put up some points. I was watching your tweet on the UCLA linebackers.
You saw that?
Where you just started breaking up laughing.
They were that bad. They made me
put a smile on my face.
Producer Steve was in here and I was and he
Are they worse than FIU?
No.
Villanova?
They're not. You can't be worse than Villanova just because Villanova's just their FCS, but
there's my answer.
But they're worse than Nevada. I think UCLA is worse than Nevada. I really do. But yeah, producer Steve was in here when I was filming the film breakdown for UCLA, and he heard me just hysterically laughing watching the UCLA defense. And he's like, what's going on out there? I'm like, I'm watching the UCLA linebackers, and they are bad. So, look, it's time to get going for this Penn State offense.
Do you think our O-line had enough dress rehearsals this week? You think they know what they're doing this time?
I'll tell you right now. I'll throw you out this stat. UCLA's defense allowing 232 yards rushing per game.
We don't have 232 yards rushing per game.
No, well, we definitely don't have that.
Do we have that cumulatively yet?
Almost. No, we do. We do. That is dead last in the Big Ten. 232 yards per game allowed. Dead last, 18 out of 18 in the Big Ten by about 50 yards. UCLA's defense is dead last in rushing yards allowed. So they are awful. I don't think it could be a better circumstance for Penn State. You might say, hey, traveling to the West Coast is not ideal. I would say kind of what James Franklin said at his presser on Wednesday. He said, hey, it's a good time to get out of town for us.
He didn't say it like that, though. It was more like, yeah, it's a good time to get out of town for sure.
That's what they needed, though. They needed to just Get out to the West Coast. Get away from
I
everybody.
mean, here's my thing. I mean, you never see them in public anyway, so I'm not sure why that statement. I mean, and here's the other thing, too. Because we're on such a national stage, it doesn't matter where you are. He could be at the gas station in Sacramento, and somebody will probably come up to him, so.
You're saying you're getting got wherever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No, I do imagine. I've talked about this with Goon, though, on our show, that, like, it does suck to a degree to be like a Drew Allar at this point because, yes, you make a ton of money. I don't feel bad for your wallet, but, like, you cannot go to Chipotle, to Canyon Pizza. Shout out Sarah. Got the Canyon Pizza shirt on right now.
For anybody who's an original, as in, like, a millennial or older, they know.
Canyon Pizza.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not there anymore, is it?
No, I think they got shut down for
What
health.
happened?
I believe they were shut down for health issues, health hazards, and probably serving food that
Too
was
many- too many
Canyon
roaches.
Pizza and rats.
yeah, and rats with
Too
rats.
many roaches under the
Yeah.
pepperoni, probably.
Just a little bit. Definitely not cleanly there at all.
No, but that's not what we're looking
Was it like that Ratatouille movie? That's what was going on?
Basically, yeah, there was a rat cooking up the food. Essentially, no, that's what it was.
It would
So,
be better, probably.
all right, let's talk.
Focus.
Let's talk a little bit of logistics here. So UCLA is the dumpster fire of all dumpster fires. Recently fired their head coach within the past 3 weeks. Head coach, defensive coordinator also fired, and then earlier this week they fired their offensive coordinator as well.
So is the chaplain coaching the team now?
Yeah, they picked up someone off the street, the local hobos in California.
Put out a Craigslist ad?
That's what they got going on.
Honestly, I feel like these days you could probably find somebody decent on Craigslist.
Probably better than what they have at the
You
moment.
think they like called up other D1 programs coaches and the coaches were like, nah.
Oh, no,
Sir,
no.
how would you
Maybe
like to be the
D3?
head coach at UCLA? And they're like, I'm going to stick at Alcorn State, I think.
No, that's absolutely real. No one wants
I
to
don't
go
want
to
to take
UCLA.
a step backwards in my career.
Yeah, no, it's a awful job right now. Johnny Rocket, thank you for the $5, man. He said, long-time listener, first-time super chat. My man, appreciate the support. Over, under 5.5 jet sweeps.
Like it.
It better be under, let me tell you. Although, I'll be honest, I should do the math on it. That's probably our most productive rushing play that there has been this season from an average standpoint. Like giving Pena the jet sweep, probably the highest average yards from any rusher. I would guess.
How many times do you think
Wait,
we're
look,
going
I'll-
to see Venga in motion today?
I hope, hopefully not a lot. I'll tell you here. I'll tell you right here. Yeah, Trevor. I don't count Tyseer Denmark because he has one rush for 12 yards. But the highest average rushing yards for any Penn State rusher is Trevor Pena at 8.5 yards per carry. He's at 8 carries. My guess is I think all of those are probably jet sweeps. So I don't know. Maybe we go over on the jet sweeps. The rushing attack isn't working. We just go jet sweep all day and they can't stop it.
I just had an epiphany for your branding. We should call your giveaway a jet sweepstakes.
There we
like
go.
it.
John, you are just a mastermind over there.
We're keeping
Luke says, Landon, the coach's last name is Skipper, right? Yes, that is the interim. So if he is the skipper, is the offensive coordinator Gillian? Is it some TV show?
Gilligan.
A 3-hour tour.
You don't know Gilligan's Island?
It says Gillian. It doesn't
He
say
was
Gilligan.
born in the 21st century. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't know Gillian's
I
Island.
meant Gilligan.
Gilligan.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know that type of stuff, guys. Anytime I have a goon on the show,
It was like Gilligan's Island was like the original Breaking Bad.
it was like Lost,
what?
basically.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, see, I
They
was
said it was the
So-
3-hour tour.
sorta.
So they were supposed to go on a boat tour, and they ended up stranded on an island, and then they had to
it
live
like
out their days
Lost?
on the island.
I at that time I was watching SpongeBob and iCarly and Drake
You
and
didn't.
Josh.
You didn't
so-
hit TV Land for like the Munsters, Mr. Ed.
Nah, no, not really. That was not me.
Lame.
Nick says the Yursich special quarterback draw. Shout out Mike Yursich, my man. He was living the good life. He was golfing here for a while. I would see him all the time because he was just
What a life!
He was just
Wouldn't you love to get paid out like a few million
That's-
annual to play golf at the freaking blue course?
A lot of people
Like-
say that's the dream is to make a big time, get a big time head coaching gig, get fired early on, and just collect like the entire check.
I think that's the new. I think that's their new strategy. I
Mine-
really do.
It would be. Johnny Rocket, thank you for the $5, my man. Second question, over under 2.5 times Katron lines up as our quarterback. Now that better be an under. I will tell you what, I don't want to see the Wildcat today. The Wildcat
We
has
will.
not worked one time that we have ran it all year long, and that was kind of my entire problem. Shout out, my dad said I'm so embarrassed in the
should.
chat. Yeah, it should be. You should have put it on more. So that was my problem. There's been this whole conversation this week of Penn State, and I think it's partly had to do with some stuff I've said on Twitter, but then Joel Klatt, some other national pundits came out and said that Drew Allar does not fit Andy Kotelnicki's offense, which I made that video, I think during the bye week. I made a video on it, and I kind of showed you guys when was Drew Allar at his best. At his best was down against USC, down against Oregon, when he was just slinging it, and we were in a spread-ish offense. So James Franklin was asked Wednesday night, and he basically said, no, I don't agree with the idea that the offense doesn't fit. He said something along the lines of, I don't really see it that way. Now, here's what I'll say. They have, Franklin and Kotelnicki have kind of held the idea that they do have a pro-style variation offense, and it is a multiple offense, meaning that there is pro-style elements from the routes, the rushing game, but you also have the option, and you also have the RPO. So Andy Kotelnicki has described it as a blizzard, that it can look complicated, but it has very simple, vanilla elements that are the base elements of it. The problem with that is that I find is why do everything a little bit instead of just mastering one thing? And also, I don't find that to be a pro-style offense anymore. Yeah, you might have elements of a pro-style offense, but I don't really think it is. We have a caller.
Yes.
What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Nate from Lancaster.
Nate, my man, what is your question?
Do you think in the preseason we overhyped our offensive line and our wide receivers we got out of the transfer portal? Tell me your thoughts. I know one was all ACC, one was big time in his conference, but I feel like the Big Ten's a different place.
Yeah.
What your thoughts are on that?
I appreciate the question. So I do think the wide receivers in general, I think we thought that they were going to be a little bit better than they really are. I still think it's a slight upgrade. I don't think it's as big of an upgrade as we initially anticipated. Yes, you bring Kyron Hudson over, captain, USC guy, didn't have a ton of targets, but expected to be a big time role, be upwards of 75 targets maybe. His route running does not look as crisp as it should be. There's a lot of things that he needs to work on with that, especially as an older guy, but doesn't have the speed to take any type of the top off the defense. Yes, he is a great just throw it up for the guy, and he's not going to drop it generally. But overall, the rest of his game isn't great. But like I said, we knew what we were getting out of that. Trevor Pena, a little bit different in the fact he's a fantastic route runner. I love how he sets up DBs, especially in man coverage, but he doesn't have the speed to break anything open, anything crazy. There was a couple times he was open versus Oregon, and I would have liked to see us be able to get him the ball more. But, you look at that, and then Ross is the deep guy. And I think Ross is playing on the outside, and Ross fits better in the slot position. And that's really generally where he should be playing, in my opinion. But I think to answer your question, no, I think we were a little too excited of the fact that we were just overhauling the entire room. We thought it was going to be substantially better. It is a little bit better. I think that's my take on that. And obviously the offensive line, yes. No one could have guessed that the offensive line was going to struggle like that. But hopefully we get back on track today. Johnny Rocket said, third and final question. Thank you for the donation again, brother. Do you think Franklin let the team watch hockey last night? There is a lot Drew could learn from McKenna. Shout out TC. Yeah, I'm sure a couple of the boys are watching. That was a big one. It was on YouTube for free. I think that was the Gavin McKenna effect for sure. Yeah, it's exciting. Hockey's in a good place. I think we're going to be packed. And then what is it? January? Is it January 31st? What?
Yeah, they changed it, but it's January 31st.
January 31st. We're all going to be in Beaver Stadium. And shout out Penn State, actually, for putting out some reasonably priced tickets for the hockey game in Beaver Stadium. I think it's like fairly cheap.
Nice.
Yeah, shout out to them. That doesn't.
I like Julius Caesar's.
Julius. Who needs a neck tattoo more, James Franklin or Drew Allar?
I don't know. I was watching Love After Lockup last night. We both were.
You were watching it. I was falling asleep. But
well, hold on. It's our date night kind of ritual is to watch that because it was the season finale last night, and one of the characters had a neck tattoo that said "blessed" across the throat.
Yeah, his blessed throat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think.
Yeah,
I think that both of them need. Actually, no. Well, Drew was one first. Primarily.
Well, yeah,
or maybe a couple teardrops.
Yeah, maybe a tear. You just leaked to my whole chat that I watch Love After Lockup. It is one of the worst shows of all time.
It's a great one.
It's great. It's awful, but it's great. Yeah, no. Look, we need some life injected. So this actually brings me to something I had written down. I want to talk about this. Someone tagged me on this on Twitter, and it was Mike Leach. If you know Mike Leach, R.I.P. One of the great head coaches ever from a standpoint of just being a dude, someone that you just love. So when he was at Texas Tech in the early 2000s, he had a starting quarterback, and his name was Taylor, right? And he was in a big-time slump. He wasn't taking shots. He was very hesitant. He wasn't going through his reads correctly. So Leach went on and he created an alter ego for Taylor. So instead of calling him Taylor, he began calling him Nick. And he would come to Taylor pregame and he would say, Taylor's indecisive. Taylor overthinks. Taylor doesn't pull the trigger on anything. But Nick has a free mind. Nick is a trained killer. Nick goes through all of his reads, and he's the best quarterback on the planet. I thought that was interesting. Now, that's some real sports psychology right there. And I think I think fans sometimes can underestimate how much your mindset really goes into how well you perform. And I've told you guys, if you have more confidence in the guy across from you, you're going to win 9 out of 10 times. And I don't know. I'm not saying that we create Nick Allar or anything, but I'm just saying that's not a bad idea. Like if you basically get to like cosplay as like just a dude out on the field. Like imagine going out there and you're like, yeah. Like, right, you like that, right? When I heard that story, I forget who tagged me on Twitter, but that was awesome. That's like the high level coaching. That is when you are a great coach. You come up with things like that to get the best out of your players. I absolutely love that. Let's go, man. Yeah, we got to get it going today.
Throw up your favorite Drew Allar alter ego name in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. What should Drew Allar's alter ego? So Drew Allar hangs
Keep it reasonable, people.
Yeah, please. Let's keep it
PG.
PG. We'll go PG-13. Yeah, not Lamar Allar either. Not Lamar Allar, because that's
not happening.
No, I get it. I like it. But
John imitated his run in the studio last week.
I think
fantastic.
if we have security cameras in the at Studio Center here, I think if we
say, what's Drew Allar doing scrambling around Studio Center?
Yeah,
that's what they'd say if they saw.
Well, I'm just saying if we were to just take the footage from like the 3 hours of all of us watching the Penn State football game,
I think we should put that behind a paywall.
If that was behind a paywall, we
you'd
would
have a few felonies. I'd have a few felonies.
Yeah, we'd both be arrested for sure. It's
criminal evidence.
It's no paywall, just tangwall. But I don't know. We might have to put that on a paywall. That would have to happen. Franklin told Drew to just let it rip last week.
2 chains.
Great.
Yes, yes, he did.
Did you answer the over/under prediction?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
How many chains will Allar be wearing?
I'm going 4.
You got to set it at 2.5. No, he's been wearing 2. I think he'll stick with his 2.
A half chain's a good spread.
They keep getting
spread.
bigger over time.
3.5. We'll go under 3.5 for sure, Brian. We'll go under 3.5. I think he's coming. I think he's sticking to 2. No, I've seen people talk about this. So
Trace Hackenberg.
Oh my gosh, you guys are too funny. So I want to talk about this too. Yeah, call in 814-400-4188. Hackenberg, when he was here with OB, it truly was a pro-style offense. And then when Franklin came in, John Donovan, offensive coordinator, kind of switched it up on Hackenberg. And it was very difficult for Hackenberg at that time to play in a different offense that didn't really fit his skill set. Chris Tangwall, my dad, he said, don't want to get everyone off topic football, but I have to say it. This money is for Sarah for taking you off my hands. Congrats to both of you on your recent engagement.
Landon, that's your dowry.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Dad. I appreciate it. That's it's a good one. That's going towards gas. And yeah, Sarah, you have to deal with me now. So cheers to you.
I've been dealing with you, but it's been a pleasure.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Drinking some, yeah, here we go. No Allen Robinson his senior year. I mean, that also did not help. Yes, I agree with that. But it was a different offense that struggled.
Oh.
Who do you think Joe Brady would do, or how do you think Joe Brady would do at Penn State as either a OC or a head coach? I mean, he's one of the best offense coordinators now in the NFL. Obviously, it helps to have Josh Allen. But I think he'd do pretty well, honestly.
You think so?
I think he would.
Because
Calling
there's a
the
different,
plays.
like, NFL coaching is completely different from college.
It is, but I think he'd get a lot of it. He was the quarterback's coach here, right? I think.
Yeah, but I think NFL coaches they get spoiled and they get really irritated when they have to do college.
It's a different. Yeah, no one wants to come back. Once you already taste the NFL,
it's like a demotion.
You gotta come back, and now you gotta go on the road, and you gotta recruit 15. You gotta go travel. And this already sounds suspect, but you gotta go on the road for weeks at a time and talk to 15-year-old kids and try to recruit them. And they have the biggest egos ever because they're gonna get paid $1 million.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wouldn't want to do it. That's why people ask me, like, would you want to coach? Absolutely not, because you have to start at the college level unless you're like a high-level NFL player.
You have to like start usually as like a GA.
You got to be a GA.
Really like ungrateful. It's like being a temp.
Do you know? Yeah, being a GA, you're there just to get screamed at. You're there to just make up the cards. So like the D squad, the practice squad each week. You make up the cards for them. So you watch the opposing team, and as a G, you study them and you come up with plays of, all right, this is what they run, so this is what our scout team has to show the first team defense. And you just have to run that, and then you just basically get yelled at, and it's like a thankless job. So I'd rather be here with you guys drinking, double fisting coffee and anti-fragile beer and having a good time here. Keith Goon Conlon, GA, yeah, you don't want to do it. Goon knows all about that. Goon was actually an offensive line coach for a couple years before he got into the little radio situation. Shout out Gooner. Appreciate you, my man. We will be live on Monday night. Yes, I call Goon the Gooner. I informed Goon how unfortunate the fact is that he had the nickname Goon and how that name has evolved over the years. If you were over the age of like 45, that probably means nothing to you. But yeah, quite unfortunate.
You're going to live with me now.
Yeah, right. A couple other things. Tony Rojas, that was obviously some devastating news. That really hurts a defense that I think was already really thin at linebacker. And that was him or Zakee Wheatley was really one of the guys you could not afford to lose. And so what hurts is, he's so athletic, running a 4.37 at basically 240 pounds. You could do so much more in that Jim Knowles defense. And so that is what is really difficult about that loss. Oh, we got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Doug from Wellsboro.
Doug, my man, what is your question?
My question about the offensive line, what is actually going on that Landon knows the insights on, and is there any fixes?
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, so the number one thing I've seen from the offensive line is I think it's been clear is the lack of confidence to go out there and just want to dominate the opponent. And I think naturally that stems from not being all the way confident. And that's what I've seen. Like, there's many a times where it doesn't look like they are fully confident that they are comboing up to the right guy, meaning that, hey, the right guard and the right tackle, we're on this defensive lineman. What's the linebacker that we are then going to? And it looks like at times it's like it's not all the way there. The communication has not happened. And this isn't all the time. This is more so rare. But I don't think it helps all the time when you are in these really crazy sets and then it's like shift and the offensive line then completely moves over, or you bring the tackle and two tight ends that go from the right side all the way to the left side. And I've seen it, and I see them, they try to communicate, and they have 1 second before the snap, and then boom, it's already a little too late. So I like I said, that's not every single time, but overall, I think the intensity is not where it needs to be. I think everybody can realize it. Like I said, I've said multiple times, you got two eyes, you can see that. So I mean, this is a great time to get it back. A very, very bad UCLA defense at the moment that you get to take advantage of. Keith Goon Conlon said, Tang not built for the long run, drinking this early. Goon, I have told you, Goon's seen it. I'm pretty much a lightweight. We've been on a vacation together now. I quit. Goon came out, I'll never forget, we're down in Florida. It's like 12:30 in the morning at this point, and I'm like, all right, Sarah, we got to go back. Like, I'm done for. I'm toast. And I just hear Goon. He's like, yeah, we'll have a double dirty martini, please. And I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, how? I was just like, I need to get out of here. Goon is an absolute pro. I can't hang with. I was him and Marco Rivera.
Okay, so
couldn't hang with the old heads.
Somebody asked a good question. I think it was Josh in the chat that said, should they move Chaz Coleman to linebacker?
No. That is a true defensive end. If you run a 4-3 defense, so you want to keep Chaz where he's at. He is going to be a Chop Robinson, Abdul Carter type. But I understand your sentiment there. Also, I'll just say it because many people are wondering. LeVar Arrington II is not going to play this year. He is clearly just not ready. There's a reason he has gotten 0 snaps. As much as everybody wants him to be Stick City, he's not there yet. Very talented kid. Looks like he's got the athleticism of both his parents, but we're not there yet. He needs a little bit more time. So yeah, it's going to be big. I mean, the one thing is, yes, you want Dom DeLuca to get a lot of reps that he's going to have to get used to it, but Dom's already played a lot in his career. Yeah, and yeah, Chris said he's way too light. Yes, that as well. He needs to put more weight on LeVar Arrington II. But you got to get Anthony Specca and Keon Wiley a ton of reps, because right now, it was really like, hey, we don't have a ton of linebacker depth, and that's generally okay. So we're going to just play Tony and Amari, and then Dom's going to be that third guy that rotates in, and you'd see a touch of Specca out there. Well, now Dom has to assume Tony's role. So Dom's going from 20 snaps to 45, 50 snaps a game. So that's a big difference right there. Amari Campbell's going to have to play a ton. And now it's like, okay, when Amari Campbell needs a blow, You can't put in Dom DeLuca. Dom DeLuca's already in at Will Backer. So now Specca needs to play more. When Dom DeLuca needs a break, okay, Keon Wiley's going to have to play Will. So you're going to have to get a lot more out of your young linebackers. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
DJ York, PA.
DJ, what is your question, my man?
What is the most realistic change that happens on the O-line if the struggles continue?
That's a really good question. I think it's going to be hard to see a change. That is the one thing, whether you don't like it or you like it, whether it's a detriment or it's a positive, is Penn State and James Franklin are incredibly loyal to the guys that have produced to them in the past. And I think it makes it even harder in NIL when you have paid guys a lot of money. The most realistic change I would see, and I think something that very well could benefit where we are at right now, is play around, maybe check Donko out at right tackle where he was succeeding really well, and maybe you play Cooper Cousins or TJ Shanahan at right guard and kind of play around with that, and then you have Rucci as the swing tackle. I think that's somewhere where you could look, because the right side in general has just not played very well. They're getting blown up a lot in the run game, and I'll just tell you, I mean, Anthony Donko obviously went out with a knee injury and came back in, and I mentioned this in my pregame show. I did think it was very interesting that the battle at right guard was Anthony Donko and Cooper Cousins during camp, and then Anthony Donko goes down for a drive, and TJ Shanahan comes in at right guard, not Cooper Cousins. So it seems like, TJ Shanahan kind of beat out Cooper Cousins for that backup swing guard spot. So I don't know if you try out TJ there, but if you have another game that's rough as far as the rushing attack against this UCLA team, a team that is allowing, basically, you should call it, 232 yards rushing per game. I mean, if we don't go for 250, I think there is somewhat of a problem here. Now, I will tell you guys, I just do want to alert you from something that I saw on film. First 3 weeks, the UCLA defense was so slow. They reacted to nothing. Their linebackers were getting blocked up 5 yards down the field. They were just getting gashed. So, naturally, they fire their defensive coordinator. They bring in Kevin Coyle, who was over at Syracuse as a defensive analyst to start this year. They bring him to the West Coast and say, hey, can you call our defense for us? It was clear that he was sickened by what he saw, as was I, considering, as I told you, I was laughing my butt off out there watching the UCLA defense. So when they played Northwestern this past weekend, it was evident to me they completely changed their style. They went simplistic. They went man coverage across the board, because it's a lot easier instead of running a bunch of different zones. If you just say, hey, we're going to run man, stick to that guy, it is a little bit more simple. But what else Kevin Coyle did, their new play caller, he had the UCLA linebackers and safeties just flying downhill in run support, because that's why they were getting gashed. Their linebackers were never filling the holes at the line of scrimmage. They were standing at 5 yards and getting blocked up at 5 yards. So there was no hope for the UCLA run defense. So they had a little bit better of a day against Northwestern, because they were just flying downhill. So the one thing I want you to watch, where Northwestern did have some success, was the play action game, and any type of screens or jet motions, and anything like that. The UCLA defense was so reactionary to that. They were flying dead. If there was a play action, those linebackers were taking 2 steps forward. So I think it could be a very good day for Luke Reynolds, for Trevor Pena, for Khalil Dinkins. Let's take advantage of that. And that's where I think they're going to be very aggressive and say, hey, we're going to continue to stop this rushing attack that has not been super successful. So if you're Penn State, I'm not opposed to pre-snap motions that Kotelnicki does. I mean, they work. It's just when that stuff doesn't work, you start to kind of point at everything and be like, hey, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? I think that stuff works, but that's where you attack this UCLA defense today. I'm expecting a big screen pass. I'll say to Nick Singleton, get him the ball in space. Let's get him a little bit more confidence. I think that's where Nick Singleton can really be used best, is the receiving game and then the blocking game. When he was lead blocking for Drew Allar, he put someone on their back. Like, he is still incredibly aggressive. He's a bowling ball. He's not seeing it super well. Maybe that's how you get Nick Singleton his confidence. You really start to involve him in the receiving game and allow him to continue to just bulldoze people on lead blocks. I mean, that's that you got to figure out. You got to find a way to inspire your players, and clearly the basic run game is not working at the moment for him. Let's read some of the chat. We're either getting a sleepy hangover game that's way too close, or a blowout, A-Dub says. It's probably pretty valid. I really hope it is a blowout. Drunk P says, I've been living under a rock since the Oregon loss. Anything important happened this week besides Rojas' injury? Even that news got to my rock. Yeah, that news got around pretty quickly. That was a rough one. Obviously, in practice, losing him. Some people thought he missed a little bit of one of the drives on defense. It was not that. It happened in practice, and really unfortunate there. Obviously, praying for his recovery, and hopefully we will have a healthy Tony Rojas back in 2026. And I know no one wants to talk about this in October of 2025. But the good news is the linebacker room is in a very good place for next year. I will say that. Tony, Amari, and then you got some young guys in Specca and Tash that I think are going to be very good. Gavin, you get out of the chat with that. He said, activate the Matt Canada offense. Oh, if anybody's a Steelers fan, you know what he just said was fighting words. Don't you say that again, Gavin. I don't want to see anything Matt Canada even close.
Where is he anyway?
Oh, I don't know. We brought him from Pitt, of course. The Steelers are obsessed with bringing in people from Pitt. Never works out. Not one time. Not one time, man. I'll tell you what. Yeah, so like I said, the loss of Tony Rojas is tough. And it's especially tough just because a lot of the guys behind him don't have a ton of reps. So, I mean, you look at Wiley, you look at Specca, they both have somewhere around 25 reps, 25, 30 reps, this year. They're going to have to play way more because you can't ask Dom DeLuca and Amari Campbell to play every single snap. So you have a 2-week stretch against UCLA and Northwestern, probably two of the worst teams in the Big Ten. UCLA definitely the worst. Northwestern definitely back towards that back end. Get them as many reps as possible. I know you got to get up a little bit, but now here's your opportunity. You were sucking wind against some really bad opponents early in the season, and there were multiple teams where you did not get to play many of your backups. Here's the opportunity. Beat up on UCLA, get up by 4 or 5 touchdowns at halftime. You're always going to generally come out and let your starters play at least 1 or 2 drives in the third quarter. Yes, I know. This is very wishful thinking. But you do that, and you come out, and then Grunkmeyer gets to play a bunch. He didn't get to play much. He got to play a total of maybe 2 quarters through the first 3 games. I was anticipating him playing 4 to 5 quarters, at least. He needs some reps there. He's 1 play away, always 1 play away. You got to get him reps. You got to get these linebackers reps. We need to continue to get the young defensive line reps. One thing I hadn't talked about enough is Xavier Gilliam he was a straight-up rock star against Oregon. He was the best defensive tackle on the Penn State roster Saturday night against Oregon. Really just surprised to a degree, but just pleasantly surprised with his development and how he has came along. Ty Blanding, not so much. Ty Blanding was in for a couple plays, and let's just say he was pancaked and moved out of the way. So very high on Xavier Gilliam and where he's at right now. I think he's going to continue to play and could even push for being that defensive tackle number 2, the way he was going against that Oregon offensive line that overall had their ups and downs, but I thought they were very physical against this Penn State front 7. Let's see what else we got. Forget getting Grunkmeyer reps right now, Ryan says. Yeah, I mean, I hear you. Ian says, is it fair to say that even without Rojas, the defense can still be championship level? Yeah, I mean, definitely can. I think it's just a big blow because of what he was. He was the sideline tracker, meaning that he was kind of like if you remember how Abdul was, if you remember how Micah was, I don't think he was to that level. He was getting close. I mean, I talked about it. PFF, they have this stat. It's basically a TFL, but it's called a stop. So it's TFLs mixed with tackles for 0-yard gains and tackles for 1-yard gains, meaning that the linebacker is making some type of negative play for the offense. And a 1-yard gain is basically a negative play in most people's book.
I want you to talk about 0 dark 26s.
Hold on. All right, I'll another question. So Tony had 19 stops already in 4 games. He had like 36 all of last year. He was on track to basically double the amount of stops or, basically TFLs that he had last year. His impact was going, it was on such a high trajectory. And so that's why I think that loss hurt so much. People were mad about Tony Rojas and his missed tackling last year. He was at a 22% missed tackle rate. That's not good. He was playing injured, came back, 8% missed tackle rate this year. That is great. Anything 10 or under is borderline elite. Tony was playing at such a high level. That is what hurts the most. The ability to cover sideline to sideline. And people don't know this really. Tony Rojas was one of the best coverage linebackers in all of college football. So to answer your question, yes, you can still be a very elite defense. You can still be top 10. But Tony Rojas was a big piece of what made this defense go. So not to cramp anybody's style, make them sad, but this was probably the biggest loss on the defense that there could have been. That or Zaki it was one or the other. And so that's, obviously, I don't mean Zaki's injured. I'm just saying if you were to lose one of those 2 guys, you are in a tough place, and we lost one of them, of course. Sarah wanted me to read Zero Dark 26. The people dogging AK, the guy who nearly helped Penn State steal that game, makes no sense. AK doesn't block or execute the plays players do. All right, so I think this is a conversation that needs to be had. I respect the thought there. Wait, why are we going over under? What did I miss?
On throws behind receivers.
My chat is such a troll chat. I kind of love it. I don't disagree with you that there was a clear lack of execution, and it's kind of like the what came first, like the chicken or the egg conversation. Like, is the offense, is the play calling only going that way? Is Andy Kotelnicki calling a quarterback option power on 3rd and 9 because he simply just doesn't have confidence that we can complete a 3rd and 9 that either the offensive line can block long enough or that Drew Allar can just put it on the money to a wide receiver? I don't know if that was. I don't know if there was something he actually saw that he liked. But I don't know. Yes, there was clear play calling issues, but yeah, the execution wasn't there. When you can't run the ball, when you're sitting at 1.8 yards per carry at halftime, that really limits an offense. It truly does. And so I've seen a lot of people, and I want to talk about this too. I did a full breakdown of the 2 fourth-quarter drives that Penn State had against Oregon. We only had 2 drives in the fourth quarter. They were both touchdowns, and that's when everything kind of flipped, right? People have said, can we just run the offense in the fourth quarter? Run the offense in the fourth quarter. I'm here to tell you guys, it wasn't like a different offense. Yes, we took one deep shot. We finally actually threw it. But there were deep routes that were called earlier. Drew just didn't throw them. Like, it wasn't like we went to a different offense. I'll tell you, the main thing that happened was, I think on those 2 drives, there was at least 3 plays where Drew Allar was passing the ball and he just took off and ran. That was the biggest difference, that Allar was using his legs. So if you want to say Allar run more, sure. But I'm just telling you guys, like, the offense in that fourth quarter was not that different from what you saw the first 3 quarters. It was just the offensive line pass protected a little bit better, and Drew ran a little bit better. And yeah, there was a couple plays where the offensive line, I think the offensive line had their best block, just blocking play in general, when Katron had like a 13-yard scamper, I believe, and they actually moved the Oregon defensive line off the ball. So I'm just here to tell you, there wasn't like some offensive change. I've gotten a million texts. I've had plenty of people say, can we run the fourth quarter offense? It wasn't a different offense. It was just a little bit different execution, and Drew Allar ran the ball. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Landon. Zach from Las Vegas, brother.
My guy, what is your question, Zach?
Well, you know what? I've scripted out my first 10 plays if you have time.
Maybe you need to call Kotelnicki then.
Hey, if you give me his number, I'll sure give him a call. Hey, real quick, made the trip out there for the whiteout last week. My wife and I usually do a couple games a year, but I'm saving my money from now on until see some different results. But appreciate your content. It's too soon for the OSU content. I know you're trying to grow subscribers, but it's too soon to watch their O-line and D-line dominate, man. You're just really killing me. But I do have a couple comments and questions. So, Franklin seems infatuated with the Big 12 OCs, and it gets him here, and it almost seems like he neuters them. And, whether that's playbook or that's personnel or him in there meddling in the offense. So I was curious what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I appreciate the question, brother, and I appreciate it. Yeah, we started to put out a little Big Ten content. I will be covering Indiana. Oregon's going to be a really good one next week. They're both on a bye. I think it's Indiana 11. I don't think it's a top 10, but where are they ranked at right now? I'm not sure, but it's going to be a good one. So I'll do some coverage on that. Of course, we will not be missing any Penn State coverage. As far as your question about Franklin in general, I think it's fair to say that really in the past 9 years, 8-9 years, since we have not won the big one, really since Trace McSorley left and Joe Moore had left, it feels like there is an attitude of don't mess up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like you come out and it's like, hey guys, let's make sure to not throw an interception, make sure not to turn the ball over. And look, I get those are good things to say, but from a sports psychology standpoint, I think it is very detrimental to be coaching on don'ts. And when I say that, instead of don't mess up, don't turn the ball over, don't throw, it's much better to say, hey, do this, do that. It just makes it so much better. So instead of, hey, don't throw an interception, it's, hey, go out there, ball out, let it fly, be confident. And like that's where I feel like the disconnect has been in general. Is it just? And I think people have asked about this, so I was curious. Oh, Indiana's number 8. Yeah, top 10 matchup. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
God.
Guess I need to follow the Big Ten.
Read a
bit
book.
Closer. Yeah, read a book. Read the AP top 12 or top 25, whatever it is. Yeah, that'll be a good one. So I'll be covering that. But so I think people have started to bring this up. Is the 1-0 mindset in general? Is it a conservative mindset in the sense that maybe it's wrong to treat Villanova the same way that you treat Oregon?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that statement that you should treat them differently. I think maybe it's time to think about that. And I think at its core, people really like the 1-0 mindset, and it makes sense. And as a player, I did like it. It did keep me focused. But I don't know. I'm starting to think, hey, do we need to take those bigger teams a little bit more seriously? Why, do we need to be doing some prep for Oregon during the bye week for more so than just worrying about ourselves?
I'm wondering if 1-0 is the concept of a win is a win is a win, rather than like caring about how you win. That's what it seems to me.
Yeah. Listen,
It's not very championship minded.
No.
I think that's a good point.
It's a very layup mindset. Like
Ooh.
It's
laying
almost
up,
an
it's
excuse.
like laying up on a par 5.
Yeah, that's what it's an excuse, isn't it?
It is.
Like because if something goes wrong, you can always, we're still 1-0 next week.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting,
I think
guys.
you didn't use these words. I'll take the blame if anyone is judging them. But you're talking about a loser mindset versus a winner mindset, are you not?
I think to a degree, and obviously you
Don't screw up is like a loser mindset, and go score a touchdown and knock someone's teeth out is a winner mindset.
I like that.
That's what I think.
I like that. Like I said, I completely understand the messaging of 1-0, and it makes sense. But like I said, I do wonder if it takes you into a world where, like as we said, you look at every single game the same, and it starts to wait, Kevin said, hey, laying up on a par 5 ain't a bad idea sometimes.
It is if you're a champion.
There you go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
see?
Exactly.
True champions know you close your eyes and swing as hard as you can.
That's what I do when I get out there.
I think the other thing too is with this schedule for the month of September, like last season and this season and a little bit of next season, it doesn't prep the guys properly, I don't think. It's just kind of like you're kicking the can for a month, and it's like, whatever, we can get by. And it's just, you're dealing with people who, in the NFL, you're dealing with the like 0.02 percentile of the college athletes that are good enough to make it, where they can really turn it on and turn it off no matter who they're playing, right?
Well, that's the difference between, obviously, NFL, no matter what. When you play Detroit Lions are good now, whatever, Jaguars, whoever's bad, they're still a pro
even
team.
the worst team in the NFL could
So-
whoop the best team in college football.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much.
Absolutely. But even if you're the best team in the NFL, when you play the worst team in the NFL, like you can still very well lose. If you're the
Right.
best team in college football, you really can't lose to the worst team. So when you play Villanova and Nevada and FIU, there is a thought of, I don't really need to bring it. And I think you're right. I think you look at the schedule, and that's what I've liked in a couple of the years past, where you play at least a West Virginia, or you play a Wisconsin in 2021, or you play whoever it is. You play Auburn early on, something to get up for. And I think that was an issue. I think our schedule was detrimental to where we're at, because it was so easy to be complacent in the fact that 3 easy games, bye week, and then Oregon. We'll coast these first 3 games. We'll go to the bye week, and then we'll start to get ready for Oregon.
And for a player, it's got to be boring to play, jerk off teams.
Yeah, well, I would as a player, I would have liked to be able to just get
Like
some,
just one. I'm not saying that you got to play like top 25 all
Yeah.
3 games, but
I'm with you. We got a caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Landon? This is Charles from Texas.
Charles, my man, what is your question?
What's up? Quick comment and then one question. Comment, last 3 losses, I'm sure you know, right, are pick Big Ten championship, lose the game, pick Notre Dame, lose the game, and then pick Oregon, lose the game from Drew. That's my comment. Just wanted to air that out. The question is, after you lose a game like that against Oregon, this past one, like, I've never played football before. Like, what's the team's morale? Like, does Drew make a speech in the locker room? Does he address the team? I guess, like, try to understand the dynamic. Do people get angry at him in the locker room, or, like, how does that work?
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely people that'll be angry. You never, almost ever, will have someone like say anything like negative to someone, especially if they lost the game to a degree. You won't have that, but people are going to be angry and feel certain ways. Yeah, I mean, look, Franklin got in there, gave a speech, and they talked about it, and obviously, I think something that was posted on online was they have a big jumbotron out at practice this week that just says 1-0 on it. And they wheeled that out, and it was just kind of sitting there for the entire week. Yeah, so that was noticed. So that's something I doubt Drew made any type of speech, post game or anything like that. But it's one of those things. Yeah, you're feeling down. You're feeling down, and then I think on top of that, you already kind of not going through the motion, but it's like, all right, we got to find a way to get back. And then Tuesday night, Tony goes down with what was evident to a lot of people on the team that was probably going to be season-ending, and of course it was. That's hard, and that's where I worry about this team right now, is that you start to let it just all kind of come together and just trickle down, all the negative things you're hearing, all that. And that's what happened in 2021 when I was on the team, and like I said, it wasn't the same expectations of what this year was, but in 2020 it was not, because we came off that 2020 season. It was awful, but we went to Wisconsin, we got the win on the road, that was all great. Wisconsin was ranked, I don't even think we were, and it was like, okay, we got some swagger. We go to Iowa, number 3 versus 4, and Cliff gets hurt, and Taekwon comes in, and we know the rest of the story, and we just lost it. Then we lost it. We had a bye week, and then we lost to Illinois 9 overtimes, and then we lost to Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State, and it was over. And so I think that's what you got to be careful. You cannot let this roll over. So I'm hoping that the West Coast trip, they went out there on Thursday. I'm hoping there was some bonding time. I'm hoping there were some conversations that were had. But yeah, I mean, you got to get back. You got to feel like you are that guy again, and that needs to go for every single person on that roster. It's really important that they take a massive step forward today against UCLA. Mainly looking at the offense, but like I said, you're also looking at that linebacking group of young guys. Dom DeLuca is going to play 50% more than he normally plays. So, man, I knew the jumbotron was going to start to get talked about as soon as I brought that up.
Actually, that would be a really good incentive. 4-21. It's like, you know what I gotta say, I am not. I can tell I was never built to play a team sport, purely single person sport, because I would be laying into anybody.
Yeah, Sarah was a big time golfer. For those that don't know, she kicks my butt.
It's just the relying on too many people. I played basketball, and the relying on even 4 other people was annoying.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you. I mean, no, there were definitely moments where we were playing some type of game and someone loses something.
Does somebody I wish somebody would just push somebody in a locker, just start there's got to be blood somehow. They just seem so sedated. Maybe it's the money. I don't know, because they get paid regardless. But
I don't know. So I'll tell you guys. Yeah, there was definitely moments when I'm on a team where we lose a game, and I'm like, damn it, that guy lost us the game to a degree. It's like, God, I want to. I feel like it makes
it worse not to even say anything.
Ram says, "What's your over under on rushing yards today?" I don't know. Someone tell me what is it? What's it set at? I'm curious. Here, I'll look it up. Penn State versus UCLA.
Please let it be over 50.
Let's see. I'm curious at what it's at. We'll see here.
Well, you said they're dead
Kevin,
last.
I would never be a field hockey player. I thought field hockey was annoying, how you have to crouch down, and that wasn't my vibe.
I don't even think I normally just look at FanDuel. I don't even think they have rushing yards. Someone tell me, if you look it up, what's the rushing yard situation? It better be. I mean, Penn State better run for over 200 yards.
Yeah, UCLA is dead last. Right?
They're dead last. Yeah. 232 yards allowed rushing per game. So it's bad. They let I think San Diego State went for about 300 on them. Ooh. We should be able to. It's set at 225 yards. I wouldn't bet the over. I would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put your hard-earned money on the over, but we better hit the over of 225 yards if that's what it's at. I hope so. Like I said, basically Northwestern went under 200 yards, but we should be.
Keep track of that on your live Twitter feed for the game.
I guess so. I guess so. Evil Franklin Fanatic says Nick needs more carries. Okay, now we're getting somewhere in the chat. I'll tell you what, we're really getting somewhere. This is good. Oh boy. Nathaniel says, I think they need to go to the portal for a quarterback that fits Andy Kotelnicki's system next year. Going to get back with everyone leaving this year. I mean, I think it's an interesting conversation to have before the season started, I was almost certain that Andy Kotelnicki will not be the offensive coordinator next year because he was just so close to taking the West Virginia head coaching job. So I think the thought was, okay, he's going to come back for one more run. Just kind of talking about it for a second, that was the idea of why there was so much disappointment in that Oregon loss. Everybody just saying we can still go 10-2. It's completely fine. But like the idea was it's finally the year. You get everything to work in your favor. Everybody came back that possibly could have came back. And you get the defensive coordinator you need. You get the best guy in college football. You get Andy Kotelnicki for one more year, and you say, hey, we can go into year 2 with a offensive coordinator. And it was the same thing. It was the same exact thing, and that is what the problem really lies of why the fan base is so angry, that we got everything. We got the support from top to bottom. It has been everything that you could ever wish for, and it's the same result for 9 years.
Do you really think that Kotelnicki will leave anyway? I mean, who's calling him now? Like, come on. Maybe San Diego State.
Oh, my God.
Actually, probably not them because they rushed for 300 yards, right?
Yeah, that. Look, I mean, Sarah Jane, you are in rare form today, I'll tell you what. Oh, TJ said, hello, darkness, my old friend.
Do you even know that song?
Yes,
Who
I
sang
do.
that?
I don't know who sang it. I just obviously know it.
Again, Chris Tangwell, be embarrassed.
Yeah, we should. If for some reason, if the game goes any way in a downward spiral, we'll have producer Steve cue up "Hello, Darkness, My Old Friend." Maybe we're trying not to get demonetized, but yeah. No, I don't know what's going to happen with Andy Kotelnicki going to next year. Obviously, we have we got 8 more games here, something like that. Hopefully, it starts to turn around here. But yeah, I think it's valid. No, Ethan Grunkemeyer is basically the same quarterback in terms of like talent, speed, how he moves. He's the same as Drew Allar. Like he's not some type of Bo Prabula. So yeah, he as well does not fit Kotelnicki's everything offense. Whether you want to call it pro style, whatever you want to call it, it's just everything. It's multiple. I don't think he fits that exactly. Gavin, thank you so much for $2. He said, you watched the tape. Who's better, Ohio State or Oregon? I'll say Ohio State. I think I've watched both teams on tape. I was definitely studied a decent amount of Ohio State and then watched a ton of Oregon. I think Ohio State's defense is elite. I think Matt Patricia, which makes me really sad to say, I think Jim Knowles has been playing, coaching lights out, and this defense has been playing lights out. And I think the Ohio State defense is a little bit more talented maybe than this Penn State defense. But Ohio State has the best defense in college football right now, without a question. What they are doing to teams, really, really impressive. Matt Patricia, like it was thought that, hey, he's coming from the NFL, where he's never not been under Bill Belichick, and when he wasn't under Bill Belichick, it was a straight up dumpster fire. He looks good. The players love playing for him over there. I'll take Ohio State right now. I think Dante Moore, Oregon's quarterback, looks like he's better, obviously, than Julian Sand. Julian Sand's a little bit younger, but overall, give me Ohio State right now. I think they will likely meet in the Big Ten championship. Max said, you catch any of the Penn State hockey last night? Yeah, I watched some of it. I'd be lying if I watched all of it, but I think everybody was excited to get their eyes on Gavin McKenna. Obviously had a couple assists. That was big time. Shout out. Wait, what do we got? AK. Oh, producer Steve, he's trolling. We had a couple hockey guys on the show this season. Shout out Charlie Serrato. That's my guy. Had him on. He's awesome. Did he have a hat, or was that Matt DiMarcio? Did he have a hat trick? There's a couple guys, but I think it's going to be a great year for hockey. No matter what, we got wrestling and hockey, right, guys? That's good.
Yeah.
Does that?
We always have them.
Well, we didn't always have hockey. They were doing like Fire Godowski chants like not too long ago. So shout out Godowski. I had him on the show too. What an animal.
Somebody made a great tweet about the game that's going to be in Beaver Stadium in the new year about how like, do you think he'll bring a top 10 win?
Oh my God.
I love that one.
Imagine
that was
if
fantastic. Please, Godowski, do that.
If Godowski beats Michigan State in Beaver Stadium, and he'll have the first top 10 win in Beaver Stadium since...
in like a decade.
When would that be? Ohio State? It would be Ohio State, 2016.
Yeah, a decade.
Oh, thank you, sir. I'm going to queue up a tweet to have that one
ready.
That's
why you got me on here.
Yeah, this is why we have Miss Sarah. That's fantastic. If that's the first top 10, Oh my gosh. Now I'm angry. Now I'm angry again.
Imagine the night terrors Drew Aller will have.
God. Sarah's not holding back
Or
at
everyone.
all, guys. Look,
Everyone.
women's volleyball, don't forget, that one hurt. Yeah, Penn State women's volleyball is unfortunately
They're
not, they ain't doing their thing this year. They are struggling with the loss of one of their star players. Charles said, thank you so much for the donation, brother. He said, forgot to ask this. Prior to the Oregon loss, Drew really did not have any confidence. I cannot comprehend how Drew would have any confidence left. Wow. Fan base clearly has a lot of confidence. Good God. Sarah and the fans are just laying into poor Drew here.
Yo, he makes he probably is already netting $5 million this year with that Venmo thing. And what was the other?
Nike and American Eagle.
Yeah. He's probably got somebody peeling blueberries for him and feeding him on the field before kickoff. So, poor Drew. Okay.
Yeah, the wallet's definitely not hurting. I'll tell you what. But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Hopefully, he can build up some confidence today. That is kind of why this is a good situation for Penn State of where they're at right now. Is that we have the opportunity to get going finally. Steinmart, thank you so much for the $10 donation, my man. You are the guy. Yeah, it's go time. There's no other question about it. We need to dominate, and I think especially in the first half. That is where it's most important. Gavin said, can we all pre-agree that Indiana is top 10, and if we beat them, it does not count. It's Indiana.
Unfortunately, I think it does have to count.
It does. I don't think there's any chance they truly can beat Oregon at Oregon next week. It's going to be cool to get some eyes on them. But I think, they come into that game. Does Indiana play? Who do they play besides Oregon before us? Let me check real quick. I mean, so it's very likely they probably won't be top 10 anymore. So Indiana they're on a bye right now. Then they play Oregon, Michigan State, UCLA, Maryland, and then they come to Beaver Stadium. So I think if you lose to Oregon, who's going to be the number 2 team in the nation, continuing on, and then you beat up on Michigan State, UCLA, and Maryland's actually looking pretty decent, even though Maryland is always fake good. You're probably teetering right around 10, 11, 12 at that point if you're Indiana and your only loss is to number 2. I think you're probably in a pretty good place. So, yeah, I don't know. That IU game, what I worry about is you lose to Ohio State, you have an emotional loss in Columbus, and you got to turn around and play a top 15, we're calling. Yeah, like I said, I think I agree with you, Kyle. They'll probably be top 12. They'll probably be just outside of the top 10 with a loss to Oregon and then 3 wins leading up to Penn State. That's a must-win, top 15, huge, big-time game. There's going to be a ton of pressure, and then that's real pressure. There is no longer the conversation of, 10-2, you're fine, you're still going to make the playoffs. That Indiana game becomes a playoff game itself. It's like, hey, you lose this game, you're not in the playoffs anymore.
Oh.
That's going to be intense. We got our boy Fernando Mendoza. By the way,
that's a great name.
I was doing a film breakdown of Fernando Mendoza on the day that I proposed to Sarah. That's when I went upstairs. You thought maybe I was looking at The Ring or something, giggling.
No, I didn't, because I had no clue you were proposing that day.
Well, that's a good point. But yeah, shout out
for. I really thought that you were doing a film breakdown.
Well, I did. I was looking at Fernando Mendoza film, and on the day.
That's a great name, by the way. That's a great stage name.
It's a great name. He's killing it. Him and Dante Moore are thought to be the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten at the moment. Would not disagree with that. So yeah, that Indiana game is going to be huge. Oh, I'm already nervous. Yeah. DH took the words right out of my mouth. He said, at least we play great under must-win pressure, ...
Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right, guys. Today, you go out, you dominate. Like I said, I think the number one things to look out for is you're probably going to get a lot of man-to-man coverage. Can our wide receivers win one-on-one? I put it out on Twitter. I said, I want to see Drew Allar looked like Joe Flacco 2011. I know that's already asking for a lot. I'm sorry. But in terms of, as a young Steelers fan, Flacco would come out and just air it out to start every single game. Take a deep shot to Torrey Smith, it felt like every single time. Come out and just throw it deep. If you have one-on-one coverage, just take a shot. Please take a deep shot early on. Do not wait 3 quarters. So do that. Get the run game humming. I think you're going to see a lot of play action passes. You're going to see some screen game because this UCLA defense is now overly aggressive because they're saying, hey, we cannot continue to allow 230 yards on the ground. So we're going to plug our safeties and linebackers. Get over the top on them. Let's get vertical in the passing game. Chris says, what time's the post game? Guys, we go live as soon as the clock on Penn State's game hits triple zeros, we are basically live. So we'll call it what? I guess that's basically 7:30. In the realm of 7:30, 7.
You know what Sarah would like to see for this game?
What would you like to see?
I would like to see Drew Allar hit the smelling salts the way Aaron Rodgers did on that touchdown drive last week.
Oh, that's a good call right there.
Could we do that? I
Yeah.
mean, he's got the money for it.
Yeah, Gavin said we're going to air out a couple swing passes. This chat is such a troll chat. I've always wanted this. I've yearned for this type of chat. Yeah, no, I think that's what we got to see today. Yes, and so yeah, you guys join us. We will have call-in show. I'm sure everybody will have much to say directly following the end of Penn State UCLA. So that game ends. Pull up YouTube, pull up Twitter, come in here, join us, sit down. We'll have a good little.
And get on the phone, call us, guys.
Yeah,
You got to hit the live call.
I think people were a little lethargic, a little not as they weren't feeling it coming into today.
So what? We want your angst. We want it all.
We want it all. We want it all. We will. So we will be back here in a little bit. Like I said, around 7 p.m. We appreciate you guys. It should be a fun one. Enjoy the game. Enjoy probably a lot of beer because I'm going to need some. I'll cut myself off at halftime. But John, how many beers are we going for? You're already 2 Busch Lights deep over there, brother.
We need a beer spread at this point.
Yes, we do.
We should take bets at the beginning.
Let me know in the chat. We're out of here, but let me know in the chat if you are. Oh shoot, Steve. Let's do this
the
real
Jets
quick.
sweepstake.
Here we go.
Jet sweepstakes.
The Jet sweepstakes.
Oh my
Look at that
gosh,
callback
we
joke
forgot?
from Sarah.
This is the Trevor Pena Jet Motion sweepstakes. This is team issued gear. We got these, I believe, in 2021. Just a nice little Penn State
Full zip
sweatshirt.
hoodie.
Type exclamation. I can never say it.
Exclamation mark.
Exclamation point.
You were exclaiming.
Exclaim mark.
You're claiming externally. You're exclaiming.
My gosh. Exclamation point giveaway to enter.
You just flipped it all around again.
X.
Disregard them, people. It's exclamation mark giveaway.
There we go. Thank you, Sarah.
Do you
Just
treat
type that.
words like line plays? Like I'm going to take this letter and have it pull left.
You
Just
know
switch
what?
them all around.
I'm
We're going to have
tired
the
of
center pull right. We're gonna
Anyways,
send a little jet sweep.
Yes, just like DH and Nick have typed in the chat, type it exactly that same way. You will enter yourself. We'll hold on for about 2 more minutes. Almost forgot. I can't.
I also don't
guys.
want to see, in the meantime, while they're putting in their entries, I don't want to see Drew Allar run because that was yikes.
Well, that was actually that was when
but
the offense
it looks
found
like
some-
it hurts.
Oh,
It just looks like it hurts.
no. Honestly, if he doesn't run, I don't know what else is going to happen. I'll tell you what.
I'm sure we'll see John reenact the running.
Yeah.
during the game.
We're now. I think we've had a couple in studio.
It's very Scooby-Doo-esque.
Oh my god.
Pretty Scooby. That's a great way to say
Last week I put on my helmet, my All-American game helmet. If that's the red helmet that you guys see me wear on Twitter in game. That's what I keep in here. If I start to get angry, I put on my All-American helmet. I start to hit it, and I get in a 3-point stance.
It's not that impressive. I ripped right. I swim move left.
Yeah, I put the helmet on, and then John started to try to do some pass rush.
Landon's tried to block me 3 times. I have 3 sacks.
It's going to get physical in here today. It needs to get real physical in here today. Once again, thank you to Antifragile Brewing Company. They have
Should we draw this thing?
sticks. It is about time. Yeah, we'll give 10 more seconds. Exclamation point giveaway.
There you go.
I mean, was it though? That still wasn't quite it.
Whatever.
Can you say it one more time for me?
Exclamation mark giveaway.
Exclamation mark.
Giveaway.
It's like the clum. That's like really getting me.
Exclaim.
Oh,
Exclaim.
Just say exclaim.
Exclaim.
Now say exclamation.
you have like too many teeth in your mouth. You can't say it.
There you go.
Exclamation.
Did I just hook you on
You
phonics?
Thank you,
Yep.
John. They're teaching me how to talk right now. All right, here we go. Hold on.
Here we go.
Pull it up. Team issued sweatshirt. Here we go. Logan Byler, if I'm saying that correctly, hit me up, my man. Congrats on winning. Just hit me on DMs, Twitter, Instagram. Sometimes I always say Facebook, guys. I'm gonna be honest. I don't always check my messenger, so please I always look at my Instagram and Twitter DMs though. So anywhere, if you at me on either one of those and just send it.
Thank you for participating in the Jet
thank you so much.
sweepstakes today.
TJ said instead of sweatshirts, can we give away tips to our coaching staff?
For real.
Yeah, speech lessons by
We'll
producer
put a
Don.
P.O. box number in next time.
This is awesome. No, appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you guys so much. We will be back, like I said, as soon as those that game clock hits those 000s. We will be live in here, YouTube, Twitter. So join us back. Yes, Logan, congrats again. Like I said, hit me up wherever. Just let me know, and I can ship it to you if you are not coming into the State College area. So thank you guys so much. We will see you in 6 hours or something. Much love. Like, subscribe, comment. Peace.